So Michael Jaafar, to you first, his demeanor seems pretty much the same, actually. Very calm and collected as he's telling the story. But did the story change?
It did. And he had two police interrogation videos. And I commented that when he was in the second video, the one where he was wearing a T-shirt, it seemed as though he was in the room with friends and just talking shop. And that's a mistake. And then I thought about the fact that two police officers testified as character witnesses on his behalf, which, Matt, to be quite frank with you, I don't think I've ever seen it. I'm sure it has happened before when I haven't seen it, but I've never seen it. 19 years in practice, I haven't seen two back-to-back police officers testifying as character witnesses in a murder trial in favor of the defendant, right? So to me, I combine all these things into one continuous piece. This man believed he was in the room with friends, and I believe that he went too far. He exaggerated the story in that first and second interrogation video. And then his credibility, the jury's going to have to look at this, and they're weighing credibility, right? If you believe what he says, that's one thing, but we have a video and we saw what happened. So I feel like he went too far. I think that the interrogation videos are going to hurt him. He was in the room with people who were not his friends. He believed they were his friends, and he went too far. He made a mistake.
Still with us, let's bring in trial attorneys Michael Jaafar and Marjorie Mesidor. Michael, the sentencing date hasn't been set yet. He's facing 30 years to life behind bars without the possibility of parole. As a former prosecutor, are you able to bring in things like we heard there that the jury didn't hear before the sentencing? Are you able to give more tidbits to get him to stay behind bars longer?
Absolutely. In the pre-sentence investigation report, a lot of this stuff will come out, but also you as a prosecutor, you're going to argue for the max, which in this case is life in prison. So you can bring in anything. Things matter now because you're no longer in the guilt, you're no longer in the trial, you're in the sentencing phase. So in the sentencing phase, your canvas is a lot wider as a prosecutor, and you can really you've already stuck the knife in, you can now twist it. And honestly, given the grotesqueness of the facts, I think they should, and I think they're going to want to do that. And what I saw from that prosecutor in that interview is she made that comment about, we're in Vermont, had we waited a day, had this dragged on another day or two, and bringing in Gabby Petito. I think they hate this guy, and I think this guy, he's going to get what's coming from them. They're not done with him yet. The sentencing phase is going to be vicious. The victim impact statements in the sentencing phase are going to do those by themselves.
And Michael, at first we were hearing that the defendant was going to fight extradition from where he was arrested in Pennsylvania back to the state of New York. But now a lot of outlets, including ABC, are source reporting that he's going to waive extradition. That's pretty typical usually.
Oh yeah, I was laughing when I heard that he's going to try to fight extradition. He had just as much of a chance at standing underneath Niagara Falls and throwing the water back as to fight extradition. I said New York wants to get their hands on him. They're going to get their hands on him. He killed a CEO in the most powerful, richest city in the world. Well, he's allegedly killed him. He's accused of that. There was no way he was fighting extradition, and so there we are. And waiving extradition, perhaps his attorneys told him, look, we have a defense here. We can fight the ballistics. We can fight the casings. There's going to be a Daubert challenge. All this stuff. Don't get into the weeds here, because the longer you linger in Pennsylvania, the longer of a chance, and they're probably saying this to his family, and his family told him, hey, we talked to the attorneys, the longer you languish there, we know that you're suffering through some mental health issues, the more of a chance you're going to say something, you're going to admit to something, your calls are going to be recorded, you're going to send an erratic email out of the jailhouse, and that's going to be presented to the jury. Get your butt back to New York, fight the case, don't talk to anybody, shut your mouth, and let's get to work on this and try to save your life. I think that's what happened behind the scenes. Obviously, I wish I was a fly on the wall in those conversations, but that's what I think happened.
And Michael, we have about a minute because I know you have a lot to say, but the mother, when she was on the stand, she was getting into some territory where she was worried about her breast milk and what could have been in it, things of that nature.
Yeah, I got this one wrong, Matt. I got this one completely wrong. I hope viewers forget that I was on the show with you and Julia a month ago. basically saying that the defense attorney had won the case, and I ended up being completely wrong. I truly believe that the defense attorney, when she exposed the investigator and she asked him, did you guys do a toxicology report on the mom? He said no. Did you guys test the mother's breast milk? He said no. And so I said, that's the other likely person that could have ingested the Benadryl into the person through her breast milk, and none of that happened. And then we see now that there's additional evidence. So again, I got this one wrong. It was a public defender. I thought that she did an amazing job. I thought that by exposing that, and then with the mother has a civil case, Matt. She's got a civil case against the Marines and the U.S. government. And so her credibility was not that good. So I got it wrong.
I'm hearing the music, and I wrote down you got it wrong, but that's okay, my friend. And thank you both to Michael Jaafar and Marjorie Mesidor.